Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is June 14th, 2019. Folks, I've been getting a lot of emails from a lot of folks here in the Planet X News world, and they've been asking me why I do not do daily videos. And, well, frankly, there's not really that much Planet X news on a daily basis. I did try, sometime back in, I think it was 2017, I started reporting on all types of things going on, in the media, news in general, and people just left absolutely horrible comments underneath some of my videos. And the normal comment was, what the hell does this have to do with Planet X? Well, it is my YouTube channel, and I could pretty much make videos about whatever I want. If I want to make a video about cupcakes, I think I have that right. But anyways, I have a lot of people that have been asking me for quite some time why I don't do some daily videos. And that was pretty much the main reason. I just got sick and tired of, reading the same comment over and over and over again, which is kind of ridiculous. But I think I might change course here a little bit because there are a lot of things going on in this world. And I do consider myself a journalist, an investigative journalist. And I do write all of the articles for the MFA Media Group website. And that's mainly all politics, even though I can't stand politics. But anyways, I do have a few things I wanted to go over with all of you. And we have a lot of earthquake activity brewing. I had a feeling that this was going to occur, and things seem to be falling into this same pattern that I've discussed before. Also, I wanted to answer some questions a lot of folks had. I was getting a lot of emails and inbox messages, and it's pertaining to what we should be looking forward to in the future. Well, I broke my crystal ball a long time ago. So as far as giving all of you an accurate view of the future, well, I can't do that. I could only speculate on what's actually happening right now, and things will probably get kind of worse. And I was mentioning also in my prior live stream about this threat of lightning and people getting struck by lightning. And last year was a record number of people being struck by lightning, especially in the country of India. Well, lo and behold, after I did that live stream, I think it was about maybe 12 hours later, a man in Florida, I believe it was Volusia County, riding his motorcycle down Interstate 95, was struck in the top of his helmet by a lightning bolt, and it killed him. I believe it was a Florida state trooper that actually witnessed that event. Since then, numerous people have been struck by lightning. I mean, quite a few. And then, yesterday, we had some storm fronts rolling through the Pittsburgh area yesterday, and it was just a really, really weird day. Our temperatures have dropped considerably. It's in the middle of June. We should have an average temperature here anywhere between, 82 and 85 degrees. Yesterday, the high was 63, and the night before, it was so cold that my furnace actually kicked on. I think we had a low I think it was like around 49 degrees, 49 or 47 degrees, something like that. But these absolutely insane storms blew through in the afternoon, and the sky turned black. It was really bad, really windy. I think we had 40 or 50 mile an hour per hour, 40 or 50 mile per hour winds. And then that all went away. The sun came back out, but an hour later, it was a complete repeat. The skies got black. The storms came rolling around. It was a pretty active day yesterday as far as weather here in the Pittsburgh area. But first thing this morning, I'm watching my local and daily news, and 2 people were killed by lightning strikes right in my neighborhood. I would say probably not more than 2 miles away from where I live. And unfortunately, it was 2 very young people, an 18-year-old boy, young man, and an 18-year-old young lady. They were sitting at a park, and unfortunately, they were underneath a tree, and they were just chilling out, and a bolt of lightning killed both of them. I have the news article that we'll go ahead and take a look at. And I'm going to show you guys a few other things related to these earthquakes. And for all of you that hate my really long live streams, well, your luck is your luck's going to be here today, because I'm not going to do a real long live stream. Oh, somebody's calling me just as I'm doing a live stream. But anyways, folks, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the live chat there so I could see all of you. Alrighty then. Get that baby going. Yeah, it was a really terrible situation that, that we had with these 2 young folks being killed by this lightning. And still some pretty hot temperatures brewing out there in California. And, like I said before, folks, the weather is going to be our worst enemy from this point on. There's just no doubt about it. We will see periods in time where things are maybe kind of normal. Maybe they feel like they're normal, but really they're not. Our climate is changing. I really don't like the word climate change, because now all of these politicians have adopted that phrase, and they're using it to, well, I'll use this terminology. They're using it to dumb people down. They're using the words climate change as just a full-blown lie. Yes, our climate is changing, but our climate is changing for a reason. And we've seen this very abrupt change in our climate. And as I've said before, and I will say again, I talked about all of this for many years, actually for the last 3 years. And I was trying to forewarn people that this would occur. Folks, the biggest problem going on right now is, everything that has been put out there in the media and on the boob tube and on Facebook and Twitter, people making videos, coming up with their own assumptions, pushing fake news, or how can you say it, just flamboyant type of news, sensationalism. And, we see a lot of that within this Planet X community, as they like to call it. That whole storyline began many years ago with the invention of the Nibiru story. I still have people inboxing me and emailing me, asking me about this 3,600 year orbit and all of that nonsense. So I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself and say over and over again that Nibiru is nothing more than a mythological story. I personally believe that it was invented by the governments to kind of throw people off. But I'm sure they did not expect somebody like me to make the discoveries that I have made, and then bring this information to each and every one of you. Social media is now my enemy. There is no doubt about that. My videos are highly censored on YouTube and also on Facebook. No matter what I post, no matter what I do, it does not reach all of the people that subscribe to my channel and all of the people that follow me on Facebook. I'm not the only one having these problems. There are many, many other people in the truth community that do legitimate investigations and do legitimate reporting on subject matters. They're getting it too. They're getting shadow banned, and there's really nothing that we can do about it, folks. Sharing the information is one of the key aspects for getting this out in front of other people, and maybe even explaining it a little bit yourself. I know the one live stream I did several days ago, I was very, very harsh about you folks sharing this information. I made a statement about, hey, get a backbone, step up to the plate, help me out. And I do mean that. It's happening to so many of us, and it's just not right, but it is the way that things are. And if we do not stand up and fight for disclosure and fight for the truth, then, we might as well just roll over and, well, I better not use that terminology. Maybe we, might just roll over and die. But it's just the way that it is. The governments and social media, they all have their own agendas. And guess what? I have my own agenda. And my own agenda for Planet X News is to disclose this information to the world population. They will never let me do it, but that's what I want to do. I think each and every person on this earth has the God-given right to know what is happening to the planet that we live on. Okay? It's not the government's planet. It's our planet. We live on it. And our planet is in jeopardy. What the future will hold, well, folks, I just have to say that's just going to be in God's hands. There's no way for man to change anything that is happening. It's almost like an act of nature. Because if you think about it, these objects that are orbiting our sun, they are part of nature, part of space. And if you think that nothing could ever travel through our solar system, like another planet, another star, you're sadly mistaken. It has happened before. It will happen again. But I guess maybe it's just the way that we were all taught in school. We have this lonely little solar system floating around out there in the universe, and nothing's ever going to bother us except maybe an asteroid or a meteor. Maybe we see a comet. But nobody ever taught any of us about rogue stars and rogue high-velocity planets, high-velocity stars, probably because they didn't know about them back then. But the possibilities of these things happening are true and 100%. And yes, they can happen. And yes, they did happen. Regardless of what anybody tells you, regardless of any of these other videos that you may be watching on the boob tube or Facebook or the internet, the bottom line is we do have these rogue bodies orbiting our sun. I've been able to spot 3 of them that I can guarantee they are there. And then, on June 9th, we find another object encapsulated in this huge gas cloud. And I'll be quite honest, I still don't know what that object is. I've been doing my damnedest to figure it out, why it was kind of out of the orbit that I've described to all of you, this 28-day orbit. I'm still looking into it, and I may never figure it out. These are all of the possibilities when you're dealing with space. The governments don't know everything about space. Hell, they don't know everything about our own planet, our own oceans. So I'm still going to be, poking around and trying to figure that out. But it was an amazing capture. And I was looking at the photographs again the other day. And again, I just couldn't figure it out. Look, baby dog, knock it off. Don't start yelling and screaming. But anyways, folks, let's get out of this. What is my neighbor doing? Hey, man, I'm doing a live stream here. Stop blowing that horn. There's going to come a day where I'm just going to go outside and knock my neighbor out. But anyhow, let's get out of here. Let me reduce my face a little bit here so you guys don't have to look at that. Let's check out a few things over here. Yeah, you hear that? My neighbor's really looking to get his jaw broken this morning. Anyways, let's check out this article, and this was on my local news station here, CBS Channel 2 here in Pittsburgh, and 2 people killed by lightning strike at a local park. The one young man was he was enrolled at a local high school, and same thing with the young girl. I believe they were both 18 years old. It's just absolutely a tragic story, but this just goes to show you what I was talking about, dealing with this lightning. It's just very, very dangerous. I guess, you can't really live in a shell. You have to get outside. You have to do things. And it was just very unfortunate that these 2 young folks were killed. Yeah, that really kind of touches my heart. I have 2 kids, both in college, 18 and 19 years old. They're the same age as these kids, and I couldn't even imagine the pain that the parents are feeling right now. But these are all of the possibilities that we run into in a day-by-day walk through life. But let's take a listen to this. Let's see if it plays.
They were struck by lightning in Westmoreland County today. It happened as storms passed through the region this afternoon. A man and a woman were on a small island in the middle of a lake at the park, and they had no shelter from the storm. Rachel Monjovi is live in Westmoreland County with more. Rachel?
Well, Megan, 2 families are mourning this tragic loss tonight. We have very few details about the accident. Authorities say they're still investigating.
We've had a very unfortunate, tragic accident here at Mammoth Park.
A tragic day for Mount Pleasant Township. Strong thunderstorms moved through the area Thursday evening, bringing a number of lightning strikes near Mammoth Park. Westmoreland County officials say one of those struck right near Mammoth Lake, a 24-acre freshwater lake used to fish. Public Works Director Greg McCloskey says a male and a female were both struck by lightning around 4 o'clock. They were killed at the scene.
They were on the island part of the lake.
First responders were unable to revive the pair. The Westmoreland County coroner, along with investigators, remained on scene for several hours. Westmoreland County detectives say this will be an ongoing investigation.
You know, folks, again, just an absolutely tragic situation. So just in a matter of 1 week, we've seen these two teenagers killed by lightning strikes, and we've seen the motorcyclist, a 45-year-old man in Volusia County, Florida, and just the other day, I believe in India alone, 9 people were killed by lightning strikes in 1 day. So the pattern is starting to kind of follow exactly what we went through last year with all of these lightning strikes. And our upper atmosphere is very, very heavily charged. You know, you have to understand that things are no longer normal like we remember them years ago. The skies aren't normal. Our clouds aren't normal. Our weather is not normal. Nothing is normal. Everything is changing. And with this change, I guess I'll just say it this way. With this change comes more and more and more danger. Now, there's no way to predict a lightning strike, and these two young folks were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just a very heartbreaking story. Like I said, I can't even imagine what their families are going through. That's just absolutely terrible. Let's jump into some earthquake activity, because we had an earthquake here in Pennsylvania the other day. It was in the center part of the state. Small, magnitude 3.4. But what's kind of fishy is that a few days before that, they had this rogue earthquake just north of Cleveland, Ohio. No fault lines, no historical data for earthquakes in these areas. And if you want to just take a look at this, I've mentioned these patterns with these earthquakes before. We do have solar wind coming in. I did mention a few days ago that it would be impacting us between the 12th, the 13th, 14th. We'll take a look at all of that. But again, this just goes to show you that our magnetosphere, our magnetopause is weakening as the sun dips into this solar minimum. A conversation that I was having with an individual yesterday concerning exactly what we're talking about here. The conversation was basically how are these objects affecting the sun? Are they affecting the sun? It is my belief that they are truly affecting the sun. I can see it within all of the data that I'm looking at. Things are just not normal. I'll get to all of that very soon. I'll show it to you. But you can see as this solar wind comes in, the earthquakes start to pop. Now, this has been going on now for the last 48 hours. Not all of the earthquakes are on this map. But you can see, and these are 5.3, rather shallow, a 5.2, a 5.1, a 4.8, 4.9, and this area right over here, this Carlsberg Ridge. Now, all of a sudden, we've been seeing multiple earthquakes in this area every couple of weeks. What's going on? You know, it's very hard to say, but there is something going on here in this region. There was a little tsunami that rolled through Indonesia. I'm actually going to show you the video of that. But once again, multiple earthquakes along the seismic zone in Chile. We've looked at these earthquakes over here in the South Pacific in Tonga. And we had this earthquake here in Oklahoma, a 3.4. The earthquakes are still swarming in, well, not all of them are on here, but in the Los Angeles area and just north of San Francisco. And naturally, they're not showing any of the earthquakes here in the Seattle, Washington area, but they're pinging left and right in this whole area up here. This one website that I do use, they remove a lot of the earthquakes after about 24 hours. So you can see, I actually took a few screenshots yesterday and the day before, and this map was just littered. Now, we can go over and we can take a look at the European seismic website, and they pretty much leave the earthquakes up on the map. But there's another earthquake right here off the coast of Madagascar. That right there, that earthquake is probably related to that new underwater volcano that literally just formed out of nowhere, and they found it when they were scanning the ocean over in that area, and it is a huge volcano. Huge. Very high underwater, very wide, and they're worried that if that volcano does fully erupt, it can cause major damage to the coastline of Madagascar and Africa if part of that volcano breaks off and slides. And that would create a massive tsunami. And those folks over there in Africa, they've already been through hell and back with all of the torrential flooding and the rains. It's just, again, folks, it's part of what we are going through, and we will continue to go through from this point on. But, you can see this line of earthquakes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this one just occurred. So, again, we're seeing, and this is really not the Ring of Fire over here. Oh, yeah, actually it is. This would be part of the Ring of Fire. But you can see those areas where there are faults. It's lit up like a firecracker on the 4th of July. And what do we have over here? Oops. I messed up my screen. Damn it. Wanted to go back one. I wanted to see what this... Damn it, I did it again. It's not my day today. You know what? I need another sip of my Red Bull. Maybe that's it. Maybe my wings haven't sprouted yet this morning, even though I've been up since 3 a.m. I wanted to see this big earthquake. What do they got right there? Oh, that was a 6.4. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. I'm going to pop out of this. European network. I'm going to move over to the USGS here for 1 second. Yeah, there was a pretty hefty earthquake that struck right off the coastline of Chile. And that was a magnitude 6.4. I did get some emails. And some inbox messages from some folks that do watch my YouTube channel. And I'll go ahead and pan back here so we can take a look at it. And it wasn't too far off the shore, very, very close to that fault line, but inside of the fault line, and where you see Santiago, Chile, there was another earthquake that struck right there. But I did get some emails from folks down there, and they said that they really, really felt that earthquake. Naturally, you would a magnitude 6.4, not that far off of the shore, but there is a major fault there. That is to be expected. I mean, it's really nothing new. They will continue to have those earthquakes for all eternity. What I did want to do is I wanted to show you guys this earthquake here in Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and pull these up. Yeah. We know the caution. If you start opening up all these earthquakes, it slows the USGS website down. This was a magnitude 3.4. This was located in, is it Mifflinton? Mifflinton, Pennsylvania. Don't know where the hell it's at, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's right in the center of the Appalachian Mountains. And I started doing some research on the Appalachian Mountains, and it's an absolutely beautiful area. But whenever you pan back, I pan back just a little too much, you can see the formation of the Appalachian Mountains. And I actually started looking into that, and I wanted to find out how the Appalachian Mountains were formed. Why would there be possibilities of earthquake activity in this area of Pennsylvania where there are no faults or anything of that nature? So why would that occur? And I spent hours and hours looking into this and listening to one geologist, an older man who's been researching the Appalachian Mountains for more than 30 years. I learned a lot by listening to what he had to say. And, these mountains were basically formed from the plates literally pushing together and literally squeezing the rock upward. Now, in this region, there, earthquakes are not something that people even deal with. But as I was reading some of the news reports, the people in this general area, they were really freaked out. I mean, they were blown away by this small magnitude 3.4 because it was very close to the surface. It was not deep at all, very, very shallow. So when the earthquakes are closer to the surface, naturally, you're going to feel more of it. And it was in a rural area, but still, people felt it, and the 911 calls, wow, they went crazy. What do we got down here? Richmond. When was this earthquake? On the 13th. This was yesterday. I didn't even see this. A very small magnitude, 2.1. I didn't even see this. This is kind of, Yeah, we've been getting a lot of earthquakes over here on the East Coast. Small. As you can see right here, we have one in, what is this? This one was in Georgia. Very small, 2.3. What's this little teeny one? 1.6 Tennessee, 2.2 Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, and then right here along this, pretty close to this New Madrid fault, I've been noticing a lot of activity seismic-wise. Nothing major, nothing to panic about. Run for the hills. But again, all of these small little seismic disturbances, very, very small, 2.3, 1.6. I mean, people probably didn't even feel these. Maybe a little rumble. Maybe they felt this 2.3. It all depends. But the seismic activity is increasing. It's actually increasing today. And now this map doesn't want to cooperate. If you just take a look at this section of Oklahoma, all of the yellow dots, this is all within a week's period. So you can see all of this. Now, naturally, some people will blame all of that on fracking. Some of it is possible. When you get into these higher magnitude earthquakes like this 3.4, there seems to be another little bit of a bigger earthquake back here. No, not really. When I feel that when we start getting into these earthquakes that are above a magnitude 2.5, look, I worked for one of the biggest fracking companies in the United States. I learned all about the geology for drilling. I learned everything. I had 13 certifications with the company that I worked for. And you really don't drill down that far to create an earthquake. Even pumping all of that frack water and fluid and that high pressure. Smaller ones, I would say yes. But I would say anything over a magnitude 2.5 would definitely not have anything to do with fracking. I mean, if it did, my God, there would be hundreds, if not thousands, of earthquakes every single day in these areas that have all of these frack wells. Hey, knock it off. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. That's based on some training that I've had over the years. And I don't think that all of these have anything to do with fracking. But anyhow, anywho, and anyway, the earthquakes are not going to stop. They're actually going to continue to get worse. There's no doubt about it. And one of the reasons why, let's take a look at the SDO in the sun. We see that active region that I talked about that we were watching spin back around the sun. And like I said, it was going to fizzle out, and it sure did. But as you can see, if you take a look at the right side of your screen, you can see that those areas are now, they're kind of reactivating themselves. They're now full of energy all over again. So I don't think there's anything to worry about here. But I was discussing something with Mark from the Blue Kool-Aid channel a couple of days ago, and I said, watch. There is a very, very high possibility that as these active regions start rolling around the western limb of the sun again, we may see another coronal mass ejection. But even if we do, it won't harm the Earth. We won't see any impacts from it whatsoever. But what we do have to continue to worry about is the onslaught of this solar wind. As you can see, all of those black areas on the sun, that is basically exposing the inner surface of the sun, just a few layers down. That's where that solar wind comes from. And again, it's not a wind like you go outside and the wind blows through your hair. When we refer to it as a solar wind, it's just the terminology for all of these heavily charged particles spewing from the sun. And they make their way all the way to the Earth. They impact the magnetopause, our magnetosphere, and normally our magnetopause protects the Earth. One thing that you have to take into consideration and you have to understand now is that as the sun goes into this solar minimum, which is coming up within days, just updated. Once the sun goes into this full board solar minimum, the sun's energy, its output is, let's just say it's going to be kind of going to sleep. So the sun's magnetic field actually gets weaker. As the sun's magnetic field gets weaker, so does the Earth's. The Earth's magnetic field works off of the sun's. So that's not good. A conversation that I was having with an individual yesterday was he was asking me about the effects of these objects orbiting our sun now. What effects are they having on the sun? That's kind of hard for me to really say because, number one, I don't work for NASA. I don't have access to all of the data that they do. But I'm sure that they know by now, and they've probably known for quite a long time, that this object will definitely affect the sun. It's almost like putting a negative and a negative and a positive charge together. I'm not sure if the magnetic field of this object is really, really strong or really, really weak. As I've observed things over the last 2 years, it does seem to be that this one main object, the one that's really big, it does seem that it has a very strong magnetic field. And if that is the case, if you have two stellar objects, both being some type of stars, or one being a core remnant of a star, with a very, very dense object with a lot of mass. Depending on the speed that it rotates, it probably produces a very, very strong magnetic field. Some reports have just come out over the last couple of weeks about Jupiter's magnetic field decreasing. That was strange. That was very strange because Jupiter has a massively strong magnetic field. What would cause Jupiter's magnetic field to weaken? You got me. But they seem to be kind of closed-lipped about all of that. Maybe some more information will come out. I don't know. But as this object continues for the rest of our lifetimes, and probably many, many more lifetimes after we're gone, this object will continue to orbit the sun. People keep asking me about breakaway speed. Well, whenever you start asking me about breakaway speed, you're dipping back into the theory of Nibiru. That breakaway speed, that terminology, was kind of coined by Nancy Leader and Marshall Masters and some of these folks that pretty much drummed up all of the Nibiru theory, Zecharia Sitchin, all of them. When two stars or two stellar objects like the sun and this stellar core object, once the sun's gravity grabs a hold of an object like that, and over time that object's orbit decreases to the point where it is where it's at right now, that object is not going anywhere, and there is no such thing as a breakaway speed. That does not exist. Period. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go and start studying the dynamics of stars and very close binary systems. You could start looking up what astronomers and astrophysicists refer to as kissing stars. Stars that are very, very close to each other. One may be a little bit bigger than the other, and they're rotating so fast, or one is rotating around the other. There is no breakaway speed unless one of the stars burns out. And then it could easily release itself from the gravitational hold of the main star and just zip right out into space, traveling at millions of miles per hour. Hence the terminology hypervelocity stars, hypervelocity planets. Normally, these hypervelocity objects, science says that the majority of them come from very, very close to the inner part of our our galaxy. How they know that, I don't know. It's always like, science always tells us, 65 million years ago, 200 million years ago, 3 billion years ago. Like they throw these numbers out like they really know what they're talking about. And I could never really understand where they come up with these numbers. The Earth is, 200 billion years old. Like, how do you know that? Like, did you see the Earth's birth certificate or something? Anyways, it's just mainstream science dumbing us down and making us swallow that pill. Everything they say is the truth. And it's not. Plain and simple. Just because science tells us one thing doesn't mean it's 100%. A lot of times we're working with theory and a hypothesis, not true fact. So, getting back to the sun, yeah, we're going to continue to see the sun weakening. If we were going through just a regular solar minimum, which happens every 11 years, the sun's going to go into this minimum. Why haven't the other solar minimums been so bad? Why all of a sudden now is this solar minimum going to be so detrimental to our planet? Did you ever think about that? Is there another factor? Of course there is. There's the X factor. Science knows what's out there. NASA, the European space agencies, and every single astronomer that works at a major observatory on this planet, they've looked at that object. If they have infrared technology within their observatory, which they probably do, yeah, I think they've got some pretty damn good photographs of it. What also gets me thinking is the Parker space probe that they shot towards the sun. And it's still making its way. But why all of a sudden last year they decide to get out there and kiss the sun with a NASA satellite, as they say? Some new technology on board? Oh, we're going to crash. Afterwards, we get all the data. We're going to crash that multi-million-dollar satellite into the sun. Yeah, I don't think so. I think a lot of what they told us about that space probe is kind of misinformation. Just my opinion. But they put that space probe out there headed directly towards the sun for one reason. And that is probably to get better views of this object and probably start calculating more, gathering more data about its orbital pattern around the sun. Because there's no denying that it's there, that these objects are there. I also think that they're going to be measuring what effects it's going to have on the sun. And they're going to have more than a decade to do it. Don't you think the timing was spot on? We're heading into a solar minimum. They started building this spacecraft. They launched the spacecraft. It's on its way. They're probably getting, I think they already did start to get data from it. Yeah, timing's everything. And remember, folks, like I said, if you really want to pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to what NASA does, even though the majority of what they does is kind of smoke and mirrors. Pay attention to what your government is doing. And maybe, start being very analytical. Analyze what they're doing, why they're doing it. And sometimes you could read between the lines. And whenever you do that, then you'll start to see things like I do. Wow, that's not making any sense at all. It's not making any sense at all. But that spacecraft is on its way. And like I said, they've got data from it already. And we'll probably never know the complete truth, but that's why we continue to do what we do. We search for the truth. And I think we have a right to know. But, these coronal holes, even though they're very, very small, normally they really wouldn't affect the Earth at all. But because our magnetosphere is weakening, even at this point, look at everything that's going on right now. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Just imagine what it's going to be like a year from now, 5 years from now. That was part of the conversation that I was having with this gentleman friend of mine yesterday. He was like, wow, man, like what is everything going to be like in a few years from now? Is this planet going to be recognizable? Look, I wish I had that crystal ball because I'd be able to tell everybody. But unfortunately, we have to go day by day. We have to go by what we see, what we observe. You have to put your thinking cap on, and you got to do some homework and try to figure it out. What really pisses me off is, the social media companies. They don't allow all of us to warn each other. They want you to watch mainstream, lamestream media to get our news from. And to get detailed reports like this and observations. Nah. Not me. I sit there and laugh at them. I sit there and watch the news, and I have the news playing on the large flat screen TV here in my office. I listen to it and I laugh. To me, it's like the comedy hour, listening to these bozos on the media. We're going to jump out of the SDO, and we're going to check out the magnetopause. And let me just widen this out a little bit so it don't look so distorted. And, I just pulled this up. This is for today. And you can see how things are starting to light up as these particles start smashing into the bow shock of our magnetopause. That shield, that imaginary line, that is supposed to protect our planet from all of this radiation, from all of these heavily charged particles, and normally it does do its job. Unfortunately, like I said, our magnetopause, our magnetosphere works off of the output of the sun. So if the sun's output is lower, then so is ours. But the sun is going to continue to put out the solar radiation, the heavily charged particles. All of that makes its way to the Earth every single day. And let's not forget about cosmic rays. That's a whole nother story. But you can see just in a matter of less than 24 hours, you can see the activity. It's just lit up, especially on the backside or the nighttime side of the Earth. Why does that happen? Because the turbulence sucks it back around. You can actually kind of see it pretty good on the solar wind model, and we can go ahead and pull that up. And that's how you see the backside or the nighttime side getting illuminated in red and the yellows, because all of those particles literally get sucked right back to the nighttime side of the Earth and right into the plasma sheath that follows behind the Earth. And I keep track of this several times a day. And whenever you do see situations like this, you can definitely say, okay, we're going to have seismic activity. By basing on what you're seeing here, you can say, okay, well, we're probably going to have, some 5s and some 6s popping off. Sure enough, we did. We had that 6.4 right off the coast of Chile. You can see some contortions on the magnetopause. None of that is normal. None of that is normal. And that's usually a sign that when you see those contractions and those funny lines, it's like it's moving around all over the place and contorting. I mean, that's a telltale sign that the magnetosphere, those field lines, they're reaching. They're reaching for another magnetic field that is actually coming in, which belongs to the sun. So I'm going to jump out of here real quick, and we will bring up the solar wind. And the solar wind has, once again, this whole entire week, it has been just very, very slow. We'll go ahead and back this up just a little bit. And we'll go ahead and let this run its course. And here, you see this red bow shock. That's going to represent our magnetopause. And you see the back side of the Earth, the nighttime side. And this is the plasma sheath right here. This is what I was referring to when that solar wind wraps back around and you see the directions of the arrows. And that solar wind now makes its way literally to the backside or the nighttime side of the Earth. So the entire Earth is always affected by that, just not the daytime side. So that's how sometimes we get these earthquakes that happen at night. And you say, well, the Earth's not even facing the sun. How could that happen? Well, that is how it happens. It literally wraps right back around, and the impacts are just the same as if it was hitting the front of the bow shock. And you can see, if you watch this little area right here, you see that inflammation right here. That's what we'll call it. I'll just stop that right there. I mean, take a look at that. And that right there is showing you the intensity of those particles. And the majority of that is coming from the back side. That's wrapping around, and as the Earth rotates, it's just making a nice big tight circle right around the Earth. So the entire planet is always at risk, just not the daytime side. I had a few people ask me that question. Why would those earthquakes happen at night if they're not exposed to the sun? The nighttime side. Well, that's why. Because those particles, that solar wind wraps right around, and it does impact the nighttime side of the Earth. So this is where we're at right here for today, and we will probably see more continued earthquake activity. We may even see another big booming earthquake here within the next 72 hours because this stream of solar wind is going to continue. I showed you all of the coronal hole openings on the front face of the sun that is facing us now. And again, folks, this is going to be something that's going to be normal. But unfortunately, it's going to get worse. And nothing we could do about it. We just have to ride it out for this time period and let's see what happens. Yeah, that's the scary part. We're going to go ahead and take a look, and we'll see what the electron in the radiation belt is showing. I'll just go ahead and open this up real big, and I'm going to go ahead and expand this backwards in time just a little bit. Let's see what we got. I haven't taken a look at this yet, but we will. Well, there we go. Well, looky what we got there. That was going back to the 12th, 2 days ago. So we had that come in. Those are heavily charged electrons. And we had the magnitude 6 point something off the coast of Chile on the 13th. Usually, you'll get these earthquakes about 24 to 72 hours later after these impacts. Normally, it would take about 3 or 4 days for those particles to really sink deep into the earth and create the earthquakes. Now, it seems that it's about 24 to 48 hours. We get the impact, boom, the earthquakes start to occur. We may start to see earthquakes in odd places on a regular basis, like we just saw in Cleveland and the central part of Pennsylvania. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let this run out and let's check it out. I haven't looked at this yet today. This area in pink, I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. I've been looking at these models for years and years. That new color that you see right here, this pink, they never had that color in this model before. As you can see over here on the color code, where my cursor is right here, that color doesn't exist. I just started seeing that color in January of this year, which means they added it. They added it. Why? Because that's even more intense than the red color they have in the code right there to the lower right. What you're looking at right there on the 12th at 2300 hours is intense. And it is inside of the satellite belt, which means that's a massive amount of exposure to the Earth. And I'm going to go ahead and let this play. Let me forewarn all of you once again. No matter how much you like to lay out in the sun and suntan yourself, I would not recommend that anymore. If you want to take chances using sunscreens and all that crap, you go right ahead. But, the sunscreens are not going to work. We're dealing with a totally different animal here as far as these radiation levels. If you don't believe me, watch Mr. MBB. He shows the UV ratings. I mean, just about every day. He's been doing it for the last couple of years. This is pretty intense. And I just had a friend of mine that they went to a concert last weekend, an outdoor concert at a big amphitheater arena here in the Pittsburgh area. Took his 2 boys. They were there the whole day. He was wearing a kind of like a big hat. His wife had a big hat on. Both of the boys just running around in t-shirt and shorts, and their faces from sitting on the lawn watching the concert, their faces were burnt to a crisp. Burned so bad that they actually ended up in the emergency room with both of the kids. And they really couldn't feel it, but later on the effects were just absolutely horrible. And the one little boy ended up with a blister right here under his eye on his cheekbone. Hopefully it doesn't scar, but both of those kids are in serious pain. So, knowing what you know, and if you have kids, I don't know, man, use your head. Limit the time that they're outside. I mean, I know it's rough, especially with active kids. But, folks, we got to start using some caution. I won't even go outside and cut my grass until the sun goes completely down. I mean, I don't even want to be out there exposing myself to what's out there. It's terrible. But as time goes on, this is going to get worse. If you have to be outside for long periods of time, put a hat on. If you're working outside, wear thin, long sleeves, reflective colors, like white or the fluorescent orange or yellow. Don't wear black because that absorbs the heat. But this is what we're looking at here, and it's not looking too good. But again, this is the world that we live in, and there's not too much that we can do about it other than keep track of it and learn about it. I wanted to show you this Facebook page, and I'm going to have to refresh my screen because Facebook is complete trash. They're always having problems. I don't know if it's their damn website or what. As you can see, just keeps on spinning and spinning and spinning. And I have top-notch internet service, but I think Facebook is complete trash. But, I use it to spread the word, spread the articles and the videos. I'm not even going to mess around with this. See, look, page unresponsive. Let's do this. Let's get out of there because Facebook is trash. And we'll pull this up again. Come on. Let's go. I ain't got all day. Do. And I've got a really fast computer too, but I never have any issues anywhere else except here on Facebook. I don't know. Maybe they do it to me on purpose. Who knows? I wanted to show you guys this video. Now, this was just really crazy. This was a huge landslide in China yesterday. I'm not even going to expand this screen because this I don't know. It seems like Facebook kind of targets Facebook pages. I don't really know how they're doing it just yet, but I think they are definitely doing it somehow, some way. But watch this. This is just a regular street. You can see they had some torrential rains. You can see the reddish mud and water already flowing down. But watch the video very carefully. Watch what happens. Somebody was recording this from a webcam on. Yeah. Would you like to see that again? Just watch. Yeah. That's what you call lights out. If you were sitting in any one of those cars, you'd probably be dead. This is a pretty good website or Facebook page, Severe World Weather. Very, very good information that they put out, and they get it coming in from all over the world. Here was a clip here real quick about the massive heat wave in India once again. I mean, I feel really bad for those folks, but talked about it 2 weeks ago and said that things were setting up for these heat waves. Japan had one, the United States had two, and India. I want you to watch this very carefully. This is a tsunami. This was reported in Indonesia. No earthquakes, no nothing, no reason for a tsunami. These are folks chilling out at a beachfront location. Just watch the video.
Selalu stay tune yang. Pulang yuk yang lah. yang. Walang iyang ah.
Now, folks, you see all those little kids running around out there? We're talking like little kids, 3, 4 years old. They may get pushed in when that little rogue tsunami came in. But when that tsunami goes back out, it's taking those kids with it. And you can see in the background there were adults running into the water and grabbing those little kids because they would easily be sucked back out by the power of even a small tsunami that just came out of nowhere. Just came out of nowhere. I saw that this morning, and I thought that was just pretty amazing that no report of an earthquake, no nothing, just a rogue wave coming in. Hey, look, hey, for all of you sun worshipers, if you're, always plagued with trying to get suntan lotion on your back, check out this old geezer right here. He uses a small paint roller. There you go. You gotta love it, man. That's called using your head. But he's not using his head too well because he's baking his little white snowflake skin in the hot Indonesian sun. Yeah. I thought this was pretty comical right here with all the hailstorms that we've seen over the last couple of years. The hailstorms are getting worse and worse and worse. I showed all of you guys what happened in Germany a few days ago. My God. Well, this guy decides, well, you know what? I'm going to protect my car because these hailstorms are destroying property, cars, houses, buildings, and people's heads. He goes out and gets those little swimming pool noodles. I gotta say, this is pretty cool idea. Will it work? I don't know. We haven't seen it in action yet. I did see a picture the other day from Germany where somebody covered their whole entire van with big pillows from sofas, and they tied them all over the roof of their van and on the sides of the windows to protect them from being crushed by these baseball-sized hailstones. This northern Italy, listen, folks, the people in northern Italy have been getting hammered. Way north in the northern part of Italy, snow, and then these torrential rains, floods, and these landslides. It's crazy. Just take a look at this.
Cosa simile? Mai!
Ho passato una macchina.
Ho visto, ma deve essere giù perché prima era qui che ballava, deve essere o sotto o è riuscita a passare.
Abbiamo visto se c'era qualcuno dentro.
Speriamo di no. Speriamo che sia una macchina parcheggiata, una di quelle che erano qui parcheggiate. Chissà nel campeggio la gente che c'è dentro. Perché nel campeggio c'è gente.
Perché?
You know, I come from an Italian family, and even though we could not see this Italian lady speaking and yelling in the background, I can guarantee you that she's going like this. This part of Italy has been going through this for days now. Lombardy. I've been seeing videos left and right from some subscribers that I do have there. They've been posting some of the videos of these torrential rains and these floods just pouring in. It's terrible. This is in Argentina. Once again, this was on June 11th, just a few days ago. More and more of these hailstorms, folks. I mean, these hailstorms, I mean, they're just coming out of nowhere. And look, we know all of this isn't normal. I'm 51 years old. In my lifetime, I've only seen 3 hailstorms. That's it. 3. Physically in the hailstorm, seeing it with my own eyes. 3. But yet now, you can open up social media and you can see it every single day, hour by hour. Somewhere in this world, people are getting crushed. This guy here, he is from Slovenia. Look at the size of those ice balls. Could you imagine being cracked in the head with one of those at about 120 miles an hour as it falls out of the sky? Do you think that your noggin is going to take a bump like that? That would probably kill you or injure you seriously. Yeah, that's incredible. And we've been seeing these huge ice balls like this nonstop, continuously for the last couple of years. Will it get worse? Probably. Here is more from Slovenia. They picked these out of the grass. Look at the size of them, and I'm gonna be dead serious here. Those hailstones look dense as hell. They don't look like they hit the ground and break. Very, very odd. That's an odd shaped one right there. That one's very odd shaped. I've never seen hailstones look like that before. But it seems like it's definitely becoming an ongoing problem. I didn't look at this video yet. This was also from Slovenia. Let's take a look at that because that is one big chunk of ice right there. Wow. Yeah, those definitely look like they're very, very dense, hailstones. My goodness. Let's see what else they got good there. Look, somebody posted a picture of golf balls in the comment section. This was in Turkey, and that was actually on June 11th. Could you imagine driving in this little tiny Turkish vehicle? That's like a high-profile vehicle. I would say a good 50-mile-an-hour wind gust hitting that vehicle from the side, knock it right over. But let's see the video. Oh, my. You know, what in your right mind possesses you to drive towards something like this? See, some people just don't have any brains. Well, maybe the guy in the little SUV, he looked like he did have brains. He actually pulled over. But these folks here that are filming the video, I mean, they're driving right towards this tornado, and it looks pretty damn vicious. Very well formed, and I'm sure these tornadoes can change paths very quickly. And lights out for that driver. Yeah. More hailstorms. This was from the hailstorm bombardment in Germany. My God. You know, folks, I think maybe one of the only ways to protect yourself from these situations is get a hard hat. Go to a construction website that sells construction gear. Order yourself a linesman helmet, you know, the one with the round brim all the way around it. Keep it in your car. You know, if you ever have to run for safety, you know, covering your head like this, that ain't going to work. So, you know, PPE, you know, personal protection equipment. It may be something of the very near future here. The Hailstone helmet. That's what we'll call it. Maybe I'll invent the damn thing today and put them on sale. Maybe I'll make $1 million. Who knows? But yeah, that's going to be the only way to protect your skull from golf ball size, baseball size hailstones coming out of the sky at over 100 miles an hour and cracking your little skull wide open or killing you. Bottom line, not looking good. One quick thing, and then I'll let you all go for my boring live stream. A lot of you are buying the shirts after I bitched and complained about it. Oh, shit. And that really wasn't, you know, I really wasn't, you know, complaining about that because I want you guys to buy the shirts. It's because so many people were bugging me. Make this shirt, make that shirt, make this shirt, make that shirt. And then I make them. I put them up on the Planet X News store, and nobody buys them. So it's kind of a waste of my time. But I do have to say, a lot of you with a backbone stepped up to the plate, and you're now sporting your Truther jerseys. And I'm not asking you to run around with a Planet X News jersey, but if you want to start spreading the truth, you know, our chemtrail jerseys, #1 bestseller. I just made this one this morning. I love it. I ordered me one. The Hardcore Fist Truther jersey. Yeah, baby. Pretty cool looking shirt. I just designed that this morning with a flaming fist. Comes in a bunch of different colors. And this time the logo actually looked really, really good on all of the different colors of the shirts. I actually ordered myself this gray one, and pretty cool. Hey, look, I even got the purple for all of you people that like that gnarly purple color. And it even looks good in the gold and the yellow. There's some pale yellow. I don't know, you know, I kind of like the black. But I'll put the link in the live chat for you guys if you guys want to order one. Oh, and check this out. Let me go do that real quick. Do. We'll put that in there real quick. But check this out. I wanted to give a big shout out to Madam AM, or Mad AM, I'm sorry. She's doing a real good job on her YouTube channel. And I wish you guys would definitely go over there and subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'll try to pull it up here in a second. But she bought I think 1 or 2 shirts, and she was doing a live stream the other day, and she had her shirt on, and you know she was previewing her conspiracy realist jersey, and it was this one right here because these come in a ladies cut and a men's cut, the style of the shirt. And she was saying, oh, you know, I wish it would have came in a V-neck so I could show my tattoos off. Well, yes, now I'm including the V-neck style for the ladies. And, I mean, if you actually wanted the V-neck, even though I don't show it here, whenever you do your ordering, if you just click right here, you'll see the V-neck will appear. Now, the latest shirt that I just did, especially for Mad AM, baby, looky what I got you. The V-neck. The V-neck is here. So, for all of you ladies that like V-necks, I will include the V-neck from this point on. Anyways, folks, I just wanted to bring some of this to your attention. Our email program that we have going for the email notifications, man, I'm telling you what, it's really, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up right now. It's really, really starting to work. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from everybody. They get their email notifications. They are now getting the, I usually do one email, and within that email, I list the newest articles on the Planet X News website, my latest live stream or video. I've been including Mark's videos from the Blue Kool-Aid channel. He did an awesome video the other day. You guys should definitely check it out. And what I'm going to be doing here in the very near future is I'm putting together a call-in feature, because I've mentioned this before. I do want to start hearing from each and every one of you, and I'm trying to figure it out how I'm going to do it. And I kind of picked up the idea from Marfugal TV, Marf over there. And I don't know what type of software, anything he uses, but I know the way that I'm going to do it. And I'm going to need all of you to help me test it out. And I'm going to warn any of the troll babies right now. If you try to secretly call in and disturb my live stream, I will see to it that your little troll head gets twisted right off like a bottle cap. So I'm going to put this together. I'm going to do some testing on it. And I think it's going to work just fine. And what I'll do is I'll put up a thumbnail, and I'll have the telephone number, which I already have. I'll have the telephone number listed there. And, I'll take the call-ins. And you guys, I know you have a lot of questions. And we will start to hear from all of you. And that will give me another excuse to come on here and make a live stream video and bore all of you to death. So I'm going to be testing that out today. And I want to make sure the sound quality is good, so everybody in the video wonderland there on the boob tube can hear you when you're calling in. And we'll see how it works. I'm going to test it out a little bit today. Maybe I might test it out with all of you later on this evening. So keep your cell phones handy, and we'll see how it works. But listen, folks, sign up for the email notifications. It's working fantastic. For all of you that think that this costs you money, no. The email notifications do not cost you a dime. It's free. I pay for it, not you. If you want to join our private network, where I share a lot of other information other than what goes on YouTube and Facebook, because Facebook is trying to destroy me, and YouTube is about this close from destroying me and other truthers. So support the channels that you watch. Share their videos. Share them on social media. If you don't want to, it's okay, boo. You don't have to. I'm not ordering you. Some jerk off left a very derogatory comment about me asking for you folks to step it up a little bit and help with sharing these videos on your social media. I wasn't acting like Hitler and demanding that you do it. And this jerk-off left this nasty comment. And then I get these other jerk-offs that say, oh, you're deleting my comment underneath your video. You're censoring. Hey, listen, it's my YouTube channel. I will do with it what the hell I want to. If you're leaving rude comments, I will delete them I don't care. Now, YouTube does not allow you to put links in your comments. So for all of you that consistently put links to videos in your comments, they don't show up. They get held for review. Okay? If you use filthy, dirty words like mother effer this and you that, if you use swear words, it gets held for review. I'm not censoring it. You're doing it to yourself. And I get thousands of comments a day. So if you think that I'm going to spend my time going through all of these nonsense comments just to approve it, to appease you, you're wrong. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Don't leave rude comments in my comment section, because if you do, I will delete them. I don't care. And, once again, Dr. Albers has come under attack by some of these little troll babies, and they don't have anything better to do, and they like to attack a woman. And I think they're kind of jealous of her because she is so much more smarter than their little troll baby. So sign up for our email notifications if you want to. And if you'd like to join our private network, you're more than welcome to. It's not an order. My God. Some of the shit people come up with, man, really amazes me. You know? It really does. Really amazes me. But you know what? Whatever. I want to show you guys something real quick, because I was talking about the comments. Let me show you something, just so you think I'm not lying to you. Let's get out of this crappy beta studio of YouTube's. Let's get back to the old YouTube platform. Let me show you something. Doobie doobie doo, doo 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 doo. We're going to go to the comments, so you people don't think I'm lying to you. Come on. See, the internet's running really, 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 really slow. Now, looky what we got here. What's that say? That says published comments. Those are the comments that are currently under the videos. You see what that says right there? Held for review. You see what that says right there? Likely spam. Let's click on likely spam. You see what you see there? See what happens when you put links in your comments? That's why you don't see them. Boo. Because YouTube holds them. They don't want people spamming the comment section with your videos. Like this guy. Tan Chi Yao. Okay? Yeah, check this out. Happen in Malaysia too. Okay. Well, I don't have time to go through 5,800 comments that were considered spam. You see this lady right here. She put a link, walmart.com. And she's talking about the back scratcher that I showed you guys the other day. My little telescopic stainless steel back scratcher. You see that there? Scratch, scratch, scratch. But because she put that there, YouTube held. There's nothing I could do about it. So no, it's not a matter of me, holding or censoring the comments or deleting them. It's just the way that YouTube works. And like I said, I don't have time in the course of my day to go through and approve 5,800 comments. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, probably pretty close to 90% of the time, those comments are pretty much nonsense. When you go over here to where it says held for review, this person made the mistake of putting an email address into their comment. That automatically held it. This bozo right here, I don't know what held his comment, but it just says it's all false. I mean, what the hell kind of name is that? That doesn't even, wow. Yeah, he's definitely some kind of foreigner. This one got held, coming.how. That's probably a typo, but YouTube looked at it like it was a link. Same thing here. These are all people including links in their comments. And whenever you do that, folks, even when you put hashtags in the comments, you see that? They get held for review. Look at this. Here, read this comment by Dylan Wisniewski. Read that. Can you guys read that right there? Look. Here, let me highlight it for you. Can you read that in blue? And then you wonder why your comment gets held for review. Is because you're using that type of language in the comment section of my videos. Yeah. And this guy, Dylan Wisniewski, has the nerve to call me dumb? Oh, and look what else he puts here. It's all Bible bullshit. Well, I'll tell you what there, little Mr. Dylan Wisniewski. I hope God's listening to you, and I hope when your day of reckoning comes, he slams you on the top of your fucking head and sends you straight to hell. So yeah, folks, when you use foul language in my comment section, your comments aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to go right down the drain. If you insult me, if you insult Dr. Albers, or you insult anybody else in my comment section, your shit will be thrown right out in the trash. It's my prerogative. I choose to do what I want. So be nice with each other. Act like grown-ass adults. And, I don't mind if somebody disagrees with me. I've had people constantly say, oh, just because somebody disagrees with you, you delete their comment. That's not true. That's completely false. That's a lie. It's nothing more than a troll baby trying to get inside the heads of the other subscribers that like to leave comments. They try to make me look like I'm some type of monster, Nazi, Scott censors all of his comments. But it's my YouTube channel! Anyhow, anywho, anyway. Doobie-doobie-doo. But that's what happens with the comments, folks. So, don't leave those links. If you want me to see a video, inbox it to me or email me the link. Don't put it in your comment, okay? Because that's what happens. And when you do that, you'll get hit with the spam or held for review. And real quick, once again, don't use foul language. That is only up to me to do that. I use the foul language. Oh, by the way, for any of you that are Italian, I made this shirt especially for that troll baby Chris Twatter, because he called the FBI on me and sent the FBI to my house last June. Yeah, baby! FBI. Full-blooded Italian. Can you guys see that? Yeah! FBI, baby. Yeah. And it's got a big logo on the back of it with the American flag and the Italian flag blended together. Word of caution. Don't try to troll me, because I'll troll you right back. Anyways, folks, listen, be safe out there this weekend. And watch your weather very, very carefully. We've had a little shift in our jet stream. I might do a live stream later on this evening, and we might be talking about that. No new discoveries other than what we showed on the 9th. That was still absolutely amazing. And I'm going to see if I could put this call-in feature together, and we could start to chat with one another. We could answer some questions. I can get some opinions. And then you won't think that I'm deleting your comments, boo. Anyways, folks, have a great day. Be safe out there. Make sure you subscribe. Set up your email notifications if you want to join our private membership site. All of the links, they're right in the description box under the video. And for all of you that bought shirts, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anyways, folks, have a great afternoon. I'll talk to all of you soon. Take care.